Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wellness Wednesday, Wealthy Wednesday. Thanks for hopping on to this special presentation. And I want to welcome everyone here to this very special edition of the Million Mom Movement Wealth Wednesdays. It's a brand new thing that we're going to start doing every first and third Wednesday of the month. And the purpose of this call is to talk about wealth and what it means to you. And so I'm really excited for this special presentation and excuse me. And with this call, we're actually going to have this call with our company owners, with Dave, Amy, Debbie, and even some of our crown leaders that are going to be featured on this call. And today, we're blessed to have both Dave, Amy, and Purium 3-star crown Tracy Fujikane joining us. But first, I want to introduce the Million Mom Movement Council. Taz Ferreira is a mother of two. She's a functional medicine doctor and a doctor of genetics. She has found a strong passion with plant nutrition and studied in phytochemistry. She shares her passion and mission by empowering mothers to be their own health advocates for their families. And our newest council member, Sherry Packard, is a mother of three. She homeschools her two hockey-playing boys, and she also is a licensed holistic nutrition and health coach. Her biggest mission is to empower others on their health journey. And Carmela has also been with the council for several years. Carmela Villarle is a mother of two, a holistic health counselor, a licensed massage therapist, Reiki master, prenatal Kundalini teacher, and with a background in psychology and women's studies. She works with special needs communities and educating our economic empowerment and activism. And I'd also like to introduce myself. I've also been a part of the Million Mom Movement Council for several years. My name is Naiva Flory. I'm a mother of six. I'm a mom on a mission to help educate more about the importance of choosing organic, non-GMO foods. And more importantly, I became a certified regenerative health practitioner and clinical iridologist, but my biggest passion is helping other families create financial freedom and wealth for themselves. And so without further ado, I want to pass it over to Dave Sandoval, who's going to kick this call off for us. Over to you, Dave.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Naiva, if you could hear me. And I would like to invite Amy. I'd like to invite Amy to join me as well if she is unmuted and could join us.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, Amy. Well, Amy, what do you think about this concept of Wealth Wednesdays? And give us your thoughts.
Well, I'm really excited about it. I'm going to go ahead and share a few slides that we put together here. I'm super excited about leaning into this concept of wealth and really discussing wealth, discussing money mindset, and in understanding how the Purium business model can really help us all achieve our dreams. So I heard about this concept that Dave and the Million Mom Movement Council have put together, and was like, yes, this is amazing, and so many people in our field can benefit from this message. So I'm so excited to be having this as a regular installment of the education that we offer.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And I know that some people think about wealth as money, and there's nothing wrong with that. There isn't. And I don't want to say that that's wrong, but I want to tell you what Purium, what wealth means to Purium, because I know a lot of people with a lot of money, okay? A lot of people with a lot more money than me. And they have a lot of things. They have a lot of stuff. But listen, none of them, I believe, are nearly as wealthy as I am. Because wealth is fulfillment, and some people confuse the two. And that's where I think some emotions come in that are sort of unhealthy. The emotions around money, like anxiety and guilt and fear, and yes, even envy. These are, to me, emotions around money and being rich, but they are rarely emotions around wealth. And that's why I'm so excited, because Wealth Wednesday is to show you how Purium could help you totally create a relationship. Now imagine a relationship with wealth that has purpose, that has passion, that's guilt-free, a guilt-free pathway to the life that you deserve, the life that you desire. where you could live and where you could, live where and how you want and have time to do the things that you love. As we examine wealth, we could better understand ourselves. And on this call, I want to invite you to dream again. Amy and I want to invite you not just to dream, but to dream big, really big. And there's a psychological reason why, because when you actually dream big, it leads to little dreams coming true. Every little dream that's ever come true in your life is because you actually had a big dream. Okay. And we can't forget that. So we want to encourage you to dream really, really big. And now like we said, every little success has to build upon another. And if we could understand the human mind, if we could understand our own mind, if we could do that, we could actually master our destiny. Now, if you remember your 10th grade psychology, there was something called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And it's truly fascinating. It helps us to understand human nature, our motivations, and our baseline. Now, listen to this, for satisfaction. Okay. I always say that I'm almost always happy, but I'm almost never satisfied. And that's a critically important mindset. Think about that word, mindset, because mindset is what we're going to be all about creating. Okay. It's critically important, because if you want to scale your success, okay, and escape the doldrums, that soft, comfortable middle where most people get lost on their pathway to true financial independence. And Maslow's scale describes it perfectly. Being satisfied is dangerous. Okay. Now, as we examine and discuss this, start to visualize your future and what it might look like 90 days, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, and even 20 years from now. So let's look at this psychological need, okay? At the very lowest level, and I learned this a while ago, so if I don't say it exactly as it says on this scale, I'm paraphrasing. At the lowest level, we have the need to feed ourselves and to have shelter. And almost all of our efforts are going to be dedicated to making sure that we don't starve and we're not left out in the cold. And that type of basic human need is the strongest driving force psychologically, the need to survive. Now, once we're able to provide for ourselves on the most basic level for today, then we start to think about how we can provide for ourselves tomorrow and the next day, and how we can have a home over our head tomorrow and the next day, and have that security that comes with knowing that you're going to be fed and have some place to live. And that is the second strongest driving force. Now, what is really unusual, or actually very predictable, is that once you have that comfortable home or that space of, safety, and once you have the safety and security of food and shelter, then you actually start to think of 3 other things. And I like to describe those as recreation, vacation, and relations. Okay. You want a relationship, you want some recreation, and you'd like to take a vacation. And this is typical. You finally found this place of comfort. But this is the comfortable middle that I'm warning you about. There's nothing wrong with wanting to pursue those things. Okay. There's nothing wrong with wanting to pursue those things. But for most people, once they have their safety, okay, their safety levels and rewards met, then they have lost their ambition. It's a strange thing, but it's true. And we've all seen it happen to ourselves and the people around us. And what we want to do at Purium is to show you that with the Purium lifestyle and the Purium economy, that we can help you get through those doldrums. We can help you escape that comfortable middle and get to the next level of esteem where you've accomplished, okay, and achieved status like a diamond, a blue diamond, or a crown, or some other status in your personal life, gone back to school, or something like that. But these next two levels will only be achieved if you could break through that comfortable middle. And for so many people, they're stuck in the doldrums where they get comfortable and then they fall into debt. And then they work hard again, they get comfortable and they fall back into debt because they get stuck in that desire for relations, meaning social activity, vacations, and recreation. And so Amy and I have something really important to share with you. And that is that we want to teach you, okay, that you could actually have a balance. And that's by creating a team. You could live your dream if you create a team, because your team, when you have a team, while one person's resting, others are working. And that goes around in a cycle, in a circle, to where it never stops. Even though there are people resting and living their dream, they built a team, and that team lives on and keeps building and growing with your guidance. Okay. And this is really, really important. So, Amy, you have some familiarity with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I'd like to get a comment from you before we move on to the Purium hierarchy, meaning our income statement.
Well, thanks, Dave. And, I hadn't really prepared, too much to talk about this today, but I do remember learning about this and leaning back into it to really understand where people in our community are on their journey here. And I've done some thinking of relating it, back to Purium. And we all know when we meet someone, that is really struggling in that physiological needs area, sometimes it's really difficult to get them to see past that, and I think that this pyramid of needs really, it shows why sometimes a prospect that we may be communicating with is not able to hear our message because
Yes.
we're down here, we're up here talking, in one of the areas where they're really needing to be met and have the need met in another area. So I thought this is such awareness. So we can know if we kind of consider the prospect that we're talking to and help explain that how being part of the Purium community, leaning into the foods, leaning into the income model that we have here can meet these needs and how you can climb in the pyramid. And I love on my on the Monday calls when we're doing interviews with the leaders and they're talking about, they're talking about the love and belonging of being a part of this community. And then they talk about how, going from not having a social media account, never going live, not wanting to, do things like that, to now loving it and enjoying it. And then when we hear, as people are growing in leadership, moving into that self-actualization, being the most that they can be and doing things that didn't even think possible for themselves. So I think this is a really appropriate analogy that we're going to keep coming back to and keep it in our minds as we're talking to prospects.
That's so brilliant. So what I was wanting to get out of Amy was exactly what I got. Meet people where they are. This lets you identify where people are and let you speak to them in the way that they need to be spoken to. So really, really good stuff. And here's the great part. This is the cool part about this call today. We're now going to look at Purium's, verified income. What is the proper term for it? It's the income.
Our income disclosure statement, and this chart is part of our compensation plan. It's the average annual Purium earnings by rank. So this is annual earnings by rank. So next time we get together, we'll divide this by 12 so it's easier to digest by month, but this is annual earnings by rank.
So what I want you to do now is I want you to prepare to look at where and when you're going to be on that scale. You see, for some people, they don't hit a certain level of comfort on Maslow's scale till they're on, maybe one of these light blue or orange lines. Maybe they want to be already earning tens of thousands of dollars before they feel comfortable enough to start thinking that they could relax a little bit. For some people, they put some gas in their car. They have money, for whatever, dinner at a restaurant tonight, and they're comfortable. Everybody's comfort level is different. So what I want you to do is I want you to ask yourself, if you're dreaming big, if you're not afraid of money, if you're not afraid of being wealthy, then you need to break that mindset that there's something wrong with being wealthy. So let's stop and just drop into that for 1 second, because so many times wealthy people have been associated with unhealthy behaviors, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. They're not typically the people we look at and say, yeah, I really want to be like them, except for I'd like to have their money. But the bottom line is that when we examine, okay, what our financial needs and desires are, I want you to let go of any guilt around making money. Because when you make money with Purium, when you build your wealth with Purium, you're only doing it because you've made somebody's life better. You've helped somebody overcome a health challenge. You've helped somebody get out of their financial doldrums. You've helped people help people help people. And that type of karma, if I'm allowed to use that word, I'm not even sure exactly what it means, to be honest with you, but that seems like the right word. That type of energy to put into the world, that type of love to put into the world, that type of healing to put into the world and be rewarded financially for, is about as guilt-free as you could imagine. It's proud to me. I call it proud earnings. I'm so proud that I have people using products that aren't in plastic. I'm so proud I've gotten people off of junk food. I'm so proud I've helped this children, this mother, this father. So Purium is the ultimate, honestly, the ultimate, in my opinion, empowerment zone, economic empowerment zone, because we empower others. And by empowering others, we empower ourselves. And I mean, it's not just guilt-free, it's euphoric. Okay. It's not just guilt-free, it's euphoric. So in order to understand what is possible, we have to begin, they say, to see it. If we could see it, we could believe it, and we could achieve it. And so, Amy, would you bring on our special guest on today's call, Tracy? And, just talk a little bit about what she's going to do on Monday nights.
I'm muted there. Well, I'm so excited. I've had the pleasure of knowing Tracy for over 10 years now. Can't believe it. But I can believe it because we've been centered on this vision, mission, purpose for Dave and I 30 years. Tracy's been with us over 10 years. So many people here on the line have been with us for years and years, and we're growing the family, the Purium community all the time. But it's incredible to have 10-year members, 3-star crown leadership here. Tracy's an incredible communicator, and she has a vision board exercise that she's going to lead us through. So Tracy, let's see if are you able to unmute? Yes, you are. So I would love to welcome 3-star crown field advisory board member, leader and friend here to the Zoom today. How are you doing, Tracy?
I'm doing so well, Amy. Thanks for having me. And I love that you and Dave are hosting this incredible platform for people to talk about money, to talk about wealth, and not just money, because, definitely what I feel we have is a whole life transformation, right? That covers all of those different levels that Dave talked about, so that we do have something that can meet people wherever they're at in the hierarchy of things. So, this opportunity to do this vision board might feel a little awkward to people because they're used to waiting until January, right? To come up with, what am I going to do for this year? But the year is already started by the time we got there. And that's our season, right? That's transformation season. We're the transformation company. So why would we wait until our season begins to decide what it is and set our intentions for what we want to create? And, Tevi and I had the opportunity to visit a plumeria farm last week. And it was a really beautiful experience. And I'm just going to go ahead and, if I can, share my screen for a second. I want to show this picture because I really am in love with this picture. And I had showed this on the previous Zoom. If anyone knows what this is, right?
Wow.
Isn't it beautiful?
Wow, yes.
It's a seed pod that's from a plumeria tree.
So
And
rare.
it's really, I never had seen one before. Like, there's plumerias, and I like have a small plumeria obsession, but for whatever reason, I never noticed it, never, saw one myself until they shared this seed pod. But what they told us was that you could plant one of those seeds, but it would take you 2 to 5 years to know what you had grown. Right? Because when you plant the seed, you don't get the exact flower that you planted. So you have to wait 2 to 5 years. But can you imagine if you didn't plant that seed today, the day you got it, then how much longer would you need to wait to discover what you planted, right? But there is another way, right? You can get a cutting from one of these beautiful plumerias. If you found one that you loved, then you could take a branch from it and then grow it, and you could get blooms within your first year, as opposed to waiting 2 to 5 years. So we want to know what we're planting here, what we're setting our intentions for 2024. And the planting season is actually now, right? We're not just setting the intention and then we're going to plant in January to create our year. The point is to plant now. Is anyone, I asked this question on the last Zoom, but how many of you have seeds that are in your home that are unplanted? Like, you have these intentions of like growing this vegetable or this flower or this tree or this whatever
So
you
many.
have. Everyone has them, a seed drawer, right? That's just sitting there. But imagine if you had planted that a year ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago, right? My seeds started getting planted 10 years ago, and I've got a forest, right? I don't just have a tree. And so the other picture I want to share real quick is, this is what I think some of us are trying to grow, which is a money tree. Imagine if the seed that you had that was sitting in your drawer, if you planted it, it would become a money tree with $100 bills growing off of it. And it could have seed pods too, right? It could have cuttings that come off of it too, if you grow it to maturity, if you grow it correctly. So that's kind of the idea that we're going with, is that, a seed has parts, and part of it is nutrients, right? You have I'm not going to get into the whole technical part of the 3 components of a seed, but we're also going to do 3 components to our seed that we're going to put together on Monday together, right? We're going to do this exercise together. And part of that nutrient is gratitude. So we're not going to just do a vision board where you're going to buy all these magazines and put all these dreams on a board and make this art project that you kind of tuck away for the rest of the year and be like, it was fun, now I'm on to whatever life is. We're going to put our seed together with, first of all, starting with gratitude, where we've come from, what our past has been, what we're grateful for in this moment. So it's sort of a blend of our past and our present. And then we move into the growth board, which is our present. That's how we're going to get to where we want to go, right? Is the journey that we go on. So that areas that we need to work on for ourselves, we're going to put that on our board. And then we're going to, yes, have the results that we want to achieve in all the ways that means to us, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, and all the things. And to remember as we do this, that, this topic we're talking about, wealth, is not just for us. That's the beautiful thing about network marketing, is we're connected, and wealth for one means wealth for many. And that's all the way down to our organic farmers. This entire system supports the entire system. That supports Dave and Amy. It supports Debbie. It supports, everyone who's involved. So it's an important thing that we do is we plant and we harvest together. So as we get into the eating season, this is the time to plant the seed. And if you had money tree seeds in the palm of your hand, wouldn't you want to plant at least a few more, just a few more, even if you got to the end of your day and you're like, okay, I feel like I'm done, but no, if I could just get a few more of these seeds in the ground and start growing these money trees, what could happen? So that's sort of the premise, and the prep work is where I'll end, is start gathering some pictures from your photo roll when you think about gratitude, when you think about the areas you need to grow in, and you think about the results you want to achieve. And then we're going to do a Canva board. So we'll be sending out some materials on downloading Canva. And I'll just give you the quick preview of what the board will look like. You'll get a link to this board that we'll be doing together. And all of the clouds with the blue sky and the green grass are where you're going to put your own photos in these collages. So you'll have your growth board, your gratitude board, your growth board, and then your results board. So just so you have a little bit of context for what we're creating together. So it's eco-friendly on top of it. No more buying tons of magazines and wasting tons of materials. So I look forward to seeing you all on Monday to do this activity together.
Wow. Thank you, Tracy. Such a blessing. And if we could give her a standing ovation, I know we would. So thank you so much for being on. And, I'm really excited that there's almost 150 people on this call. I know there's at least another 50 to 60 on our Facebook channel. So, we said that this call every first and third Wednesday is going to deliver. And don't you know it? I mean, don't you feel it already? I mean, we are going to educate, inspire, and guide you on your wealth building journey. And we have some incredible opportunities. And our next opportunity to share Purium in a big way is happening, as my daughter says, right this very now. And that's my 4-year-old daughter, by the way, not Chloe. And it comes in the form of an amazing new film with legendary Woody Harrelson and the Aquaman himself, Jason Momoa from Maui, I believe. And that's called Common Ground. And if we do this right, we can align our movement with this film and tell our story in such a powerful way, in an extremely credible way. So I want to bring Amy back on. If you missed it last night, don't miss it now. So Amy, tell us about this screening and this initiative a little bit from your heart. I don't know if you were prepared for this, but, let's rewind and tell them what we got going on. Is Amy still with us?
I keep muting because there's noise here in the office. Thank you so much,
Thank
Dave.
you.
And yes, I'm really excited. There is a new movie called The Common Ground documentary that is premiering in theaters only right now. And so you can go and you can see if there is a premiere in a location near you. And what we know is that the producer of this film came out with the prequel, if you will. The first movie came out about 2 years ago. It's a powerful movie as well. And we're going to stream it together because it is available on all the streaming services. And it's called Kiss the Ground. It's kind of like the prequel. It's the first in a series from the same producer. And we're going to screen that together as a Purium community. You can find it on Apple TV. You can find it on Netflix if you're a Netflix member. So very easy. And we're asking all brand partners to stream with us. We're going to come on and have a pre-watch Zoom. We're going to screen the movie together or watch the movie in our own homes together, and then come back together for a post-watch Zoom where we can kind of break down what we saw, kind of like a book club would do. So we're really excited about that. This is a perfect opportunity for all brand partners to have a get-together. We have been talking about face-to-face get-togethers others. And whether you have 30 people over to watch this together, or whether you have 2, have a get together, invite a friend, invite a neighbor. This is powerful information that people need to hear about what is happening to our soil, what is happening to our earth, what is happening to our food supply. This is the perfect opportunity to serve Purium drinks, to serve healthy snacks, to have your Transformation Now boxes available. So when this movie and the pre and the post Zoom, after it ends, you have the perfect solution right there in your hand for your prospects that have come over to enjoy this afternoon of learning with you. So I couldn't be more excited. Saturday, November 4th, mark it on your calendar, and find Kiss the Ground on your local streaming service. Awesome. Dave?
All right, Naeva, what do you think?
Wow, awesome presentation. So much great information here, and super excited for this opportunity to host some watch parties. So let's recap what it is that we are going to do and take action on. We're going to organize a watch party. So we have lots of healthy snacks and recipes on the Million Mom movement. If you didn't know, we launched some really great recipe books, and you can find it on the link in the bio on our Instagram page. So if you're not familiar with that yet, please go follow the Million Mom movement on Instagram, click the link in our bio, and have access to 3 recipe books with so many incredible recipes. And your second thing that I would love to encourage you to do is go look at Purium's income disclosure and make sure and get on that call this week with Tracy to create your vision board. So over the next few days, be collecting images like she suggested, collect images that inspire you, your gratitude, your goals, and where you see yourself at the end of 2024. And this is going to be a really exciting presentation. We're going to walk you through creating those vision boards and how that can really empower you in manifesting what you want over the next year. Any final words, Dave?
Yeah, this whole thing about visualization, Naeva, Amy, I learned a technique once, and if this is cool with you, do it. If not, don't. But it says first write down your goals, like write them down. You have to look at it. You have to physically make the letters, and then read and repeat it out loud 3 different times. And the first time, as you're saying it, you're putting it in your mind. The second time you're saying it, you're feeling it with your body. And the third time you're saying it, you're knowing it in your heart. Okay. And so I thought it was really cool. I've been told repeat it 3 times and make it a prayer. And now this person, who they say, well, yeah, the reason you do it 3 times is because the first time you put it in your mind, the second time you accept it in your body, and the third time you know it in your heart. So I don't know whether that's true, but it was really cool. And I wanted to share it with you. So I always give the last word to Amy. So thank you for joining us tonight. And Amy, please wrap it up. She's on mute. Give her a second.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much. I'm going to put the slide back up.
And thank you, Naeva.
Yes, thank you so much, Naeva. Here's the slide one more time. This is going on our events calendar, so you'll be able to find this. We'll be talking a lot more about the watch party, the community watch party event as well. So just look out for information on that. And I also want to say that in an upcoming Zoom, because this Wealth Wednesdays takes place on the 1st and the 3rd Wednesday of every month. We're going to have a special guest, and that is Crown Raw of Earth is going to be joining Dave and the Million Mom movement on the 1st to give his insight and perspective on wealth and currency. So join us on November 1st, same time. Whoops, that that time needs to change. I apologize for that. It's 12:30. So same time, whoops, there it goes. Thank you so much. At 12:30 p.m. for our next Wealth Wednesday. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. It was super exciting to see 150 participants in our very first call. Super, super inspiring topic. Thank you, Million Mom Movement Council. This is an incredible initiative. Love it. Thank you so much, Dave, for pushing it and bringing it to the forefront. This is something that I truly believe that our community will benefit from greatly. And thank you so much for everyone who joined in for our very first Zoom. Wonderful.